So just gonna do this. Hello guys, welcome on into the JJ podcast. I'm Jared, and that's Jordan on your right. Welcome. We've got a loaded show today, a special edition of the JJ podcast. We have been stuck at home because of social distancing, and it's a very tough time to live in this world, especially school-aged children who can't go to school, forced to stay at home, forced to learn online. Our school has not made any requirements because, well, the law, I guess, says you cannot force kids to learn online at this time, but we believe that at some point those laws will quickly change. Now, Jordan has a few topics for us to get to a little bit later today. Is your audio on? I don't know what I'm doing here. I can't hear Jordan. I don't know what the...
Okay, we should be...
There we go. What was the problem?
Okay. Well, the thing's very laggy, might be a little delay here and there, so bear with us.
I guess so.
Anyways, so coronavirus is affecting everyone. You think you're not infected, you are not with the virus, but mentally, because, everything's shutting down. A few weeks ago, our school has said we can't go to school anymore, and we've been here, all sports are canceled, and we just have to find what we can do without going outside and hanging out with bigger groups than 10, because this virus can be very, very impactful to everyone.
Okay.
So
we're going to start with the timeline that we're currently dealing with, that we have no school until at least the start of, or the middle of this month. Okay. Oh, goodness. So here on the JJ podcast, we don't lie, we tell the truth, and we get the facts correct. Where were we here? Of course, people saying, like Kirk Herbstreit said, we won't even have college football this fall, but that is obviously not something we should be worrying about right now, because we're in April and college football season starts in late August. But of course, practices may have to begin, or potentially beginning in July. So there's that. And I don't know.
well, yeah, a lot of sports are going to be infected with this. You see NBA, no more games. It would be very surprising for them to run a playoff game because one person was infected with the virus. They just instantly closed the whole league. More and more, when they tested more and more people, they found out that about 3 people were infected before the whole Nets situation where Kevin Durant and a bunch of Nets players got the coronavirus. So I would say that they shouldn't run a playoff game. And this will have a domino effect, so the NFL draft will be affected by this. We might see a college football game that is far in the future for right now. You might see it impacted, but You have to see where this virus will lead to. With the social distancing thing, I think it will help out get everything back to normal as fast as we can.
Thanks for that. I mean, we are obviously not in the situation we want to be in, but it's the situation we have to be in because this virus, of course, has already killed um, a lot of people. My I was told that my cousin's girlfriend. Wait a second. No, my cousin's girlfriend, uh, and her aunt died from the coronavirus. So I don't know these people, but um, oh, but obviously it doesn't affect anybody, not just adults and old people. Obviously, and the elderly, very critical condition. So I've been told that we have to get groceries for my grandparents. Um, they're not just not me personally, but people like my parents, my aunts, uncles, all them obviously need to help pitch in, and you guys should do that as well in whatever way you can help anybody during these times of crisis because and they may not say they need help, but they probably want help with something here or there. Okay, let's get to online school. How has that really been?
Well, so far, I didn't really have online schooling. I did have one band, I guess, talk group. We had one session yesterday, Tuesday, around 11. Talked for nearly an hour. It went great. It's really nice to see everyone and see how everyone's doing because this is not like summer. This is in a really bad time where it can basically ruin someone's future and it can be very detrimental.
Of course, we finished the first semester in January. We had 3 snow days, I believe, and now out of school for all this extended period of time. It's going to take some adjusting to get back. A lot of children are waking up at crazy hours and going to bed at also crazy hours. People are going to bed at like 4 a.m. and then getting up at like noon. And I mean, when we go back to school, it's going to feel like we're starting a new school year, and that's probably not where we want to be. But again, I really don't. We don't have much control of what the situation brings. Obviously, um, the government has said that the 15 days to slow the spread have become the 30 additional days to total of 45 days to slow the spread. Um, and that goes through the end of this month. I believe May 1st is the first
Yeah,
day that is not the 45 days.
well, so far, they said we didn't have to make up any days. They're going to talk next week sometime. They're going to decide if they want to cancel school until that date, which was what, another 2 weeks about. So
Yes.
they have to make it up. Maybe they do what we did last year by adding minutes to our classes, but if you
Well,
think
we
about it in
don't
the
have as
long
many
run, it doesn't matter
days
because we
remaining.
have 8 classes. We have 8 classes, and they're adding 2 minutes, 3 minutes per class. Not really going to help anything. Adding days will help a lot because instead of adding 2 minutes, you're adding 40 minutes.
Yeah, it would be adding 3 weeks to the suspension of school if they followed through. So instead of going back on, somebody told me that we wouldn't go back on the Monday, we'd go back on the 14th, the Tuesday, but I don't know.
Uh, we would go back Monday because
Any source really doesn't.
we're currently gonna miss 14 days, 15
Yes.
days of school minus the Good Friday. So
And then we
that'll
have
be 14 days.
3 weeks that would be, because we obviously wouldn't go back on Friday, May 1st. We'd go back on the 4th, on the Monday. I mean, who knows? These timelines are changing week by week. A lot of places in like Los Angeles have just said we're done for the year unless we say otherwise. Obviously, we don't know. This is a changing situation, but the best case scenario is we're probably back in early May and we finish out the year at the end in mid June or early
Yeah.
June. We obviously don't know how spring sports are being affected. We know that they have been suspended until April 13th. That is the day that they are set to resume. And we
Well,
don't know if they're going to be extending the season or even affecting potentially softball and baseball. Jordan, what do you have?
my prediction, what the school is going to do for spring sports, they might just cancel altogether, because sports involve social contact, and that's what they don't want. Um, they might extend, they might want to push the season, but you gotta think about it. They're pushing it. How far are they going to push it back, and how much are they missing? Let's say they miss a month of practice and games. They're going to push that at the end of their season. It's going to run into more and more problems. You have to push them back. It's going to lead to many problems up in the future. So
I don't
canceling it
think
now will
we're going
help
to have a
out.
full season. Of
No,
the next full season
because you,
might be fall.
cause you think about soccer. Let's say you end. When do you guys end for soccer?
Pretty much the week before the first week in June. I think the
They
last
won't
week of school
extend it
is state.
a month. They're gonna probably cancel that. They don't want that to happen. Because you see the band contests we had, they've canceled altogether and they're not rescheduling anything.
I mean, band contests and all those contests, I mean, it's really hard when you haven't practiced at all
And that
or minimally. But it's just
we have
it's not
100
as
people.
it's not as good of a contest when standards are lowered. Alrighty. What else do we need to get to today? And that would be how does this impact college football and the NFL and things like in the fall, especially with the professional sports. If we do see baseball, soccer, all of those sports, maybe even hockey and basketball, if they want to play in September and October, it's going to be way too many sports happening at once. And Jordan might have to get like 5 TVs set up.
Well, that's gonna be a problem because let's say you want to watch NBA and you want to watch NFL. Those kind of happen at different times. NFL does overlap NBA, but that's the beginning of the season. You want to watch a few games beginning of the season, but middle season it's just a slugfest. End the season where you want to watch. If they keep pushing it, you have to push the let's say NBA for instance. They're pushing it. They're gonna push the draft. They're gonna push summer league. They're gonna push preseason, and they're gonna push the other first half of the season. So cancel it now, like NHL. They're suspending operations right now. MLB is gonna suspend for 2 weeks. I would say MLB might have to cancel some games. You have 160 some games. No
Yeah.
one's gonna watch them all. No one's gonna want to play them all. The only games that really matter, I think, like 90, 100 games really matter. Those other 60 games is just fillers.
Yeah, I believe that I've been hearing that maybe the MLB plays the World Series in around Christmas. That's crazy. You can't play in Chicago or anywhere
Because
in the upper
it's
West.
winter. It's a summer sport,
It's a
kind of.
summer and
You don't
fall
want to play in
sport.
winter.
It's a summer and
You
fall
can't.
sport. You
It's
got
an outside sport. It's not like football where you can play in that kind of weather. It's baseball. You don't
yeah,
want
winter
to
sports,
play in that kind of
hockey,
terrain.
indoor basketball, hockey, and a few other ones. But technically, basketball is a summer sport, but it's also an indoor
If you want to
sport.
talk,
So
if you want to talk about the NFL, they might push their draft. The draft is what, mid-April ish,
yeah, I've
kind
been
of
told
in
the
there.
draft's happening as scheduled because they don't know if there's ever going to be a better time to have the draft.
Because you have the draft, you have practices, you have training camp. You can't really. I mean, you're going to affect training camp because that's where teams prepare for the season, and if they don't have that preparation time, what are they
Now
going
I'm
to
told
do?
even if the NFL has to like delay the season, we're still going to have an NFL season as long as we still have 8 games. If there's less than 8 games in the season, we're going to play the season in the NFL no matter what. All right. Thank you guys for coming out to the JJ podcast. What's any other things you have to add before we say goodbye?
So far, right now, just stay safe. Think smart. Don't get worried. If you're gonna worry, it's not gonna help you. It's happening right now. If you stay positive during this, you'll be good uh, coming out of this tough time.
Alrighty. Again, stay tuned to your local. Don't don't listen necessarily to all the media, but do listen to the government and the governors, and all the
Because you
people.
see, adding one more thing, you see all the cases on all that. It looks like it's spiraling up, but it's not really. They're getting more people tested. There could be someone who has it, never got tested. It's not added on the case list. They test him, they add him to the case list. You never know. It could be just flattening.
And
But
then
so far, right
there's
now,
people that
they're getting a lot of
who
tests.
have it, but then they're good the next day or something. And
Yeah,
then
and they
they
don't show
if they
that's
would
a
test
tested.
again, they'd test negative. So
All they have is cases to deaths. They don't have cases to deaths to recovered. You look at China, they had what, a lot of people sick, but they had also a lot of people recovering from it. I know they had a lot of deaths and all that, but you have a lot of people recovering from it.
yeah, I think there's way too much panic, and there's also way too much peop, lunacy, I guess, of people that don't listen at all. You're either listening too much and fearing the worst, or you're not listening at all. There's people need to be calm and listen to the government. Don't listen to Fox News Channel necessarily. They have their own agenda, but do listen to when Donald Trump. Do listen to when your governor or I don't know who else who would be speaking, but be smart, stay safe. See you guys next time. Peace out.